Welcome to narrative writing. People often write friendly letters to share news about themselves. Here is a model of a friendly letter. Let's read this aloud and discuss all the things that go into writing a friendly letter. July 8, 2012. The date tells when the letter was written. Dear Lena, this is the greeting, and it tells who the letter is for. What did you have for dinner last night? Grandma and I had fish soup. It was very tasty. Later, we had oranges for dessert. I hope you can eat with us next week. This whole section here in the middle is called the body. It gives details that tell what happened in the order that they happened. Your friend. This is the closing part of the letter. It ends the letter and lets them know that you're done talking about the details. Your friend Ling. This down here, the name down here, tells who wrote the letter. Today you're going to work together to write a friendly letter about a meal that you have shared. But first, let's talk about it. With your learning partner at home, please discuss 1, 2, 3, and 4. When you are finished, come back to the video and I will discuss them with you. Number 1. What are the 5 parts of a friendly letter? They're the 5 parts we just talked about: the date, the greeting, the body, the closing, and the name. What is the job of each part? Again, they're in these boxes right here. The date tells when the letter was written. The greeting tells who the letter is for. The body gives details about what happened in the order that it happened. The closing is what ends the letter, and this name down here tells who wrote the letter. Number 3. Which words begin with a capital letter? Well, if you look closely here, you have the month, you have the first word in our greeting, plus the names Lena and Ling and Grandma. You have the first word in each sentence: what, Grandma, it, later, and I. And the first word in this closing, your friend. See how friend is not capitalized, just the your. So where are commas used in a letter? Let's look carefully. We have a comma up here in the date. You have a comma after your greeting, and a comma here after your closing before you sign your name. I would like you to take a minute or so to brainstorm about a meal that you shared with someone. You may pause the video. Writers use different kinds of sentences to make their writing interesting. A statement tells something and ends with a period. A question asks something and ends with a question mark. Remember that many questions begin with the question words like who, what, where, and when. Let's look at this model using different kinds of sentences. Write a friendly letter about a special meal you had. You've already brainstormed about that special meal. We're going to write statements and a question. Remember, a statement just tells something and ends with a period. Here we have lots of blank lines. I would write today's date on the first line with the year. Dear the person I'm writing to. So this might be, if it's a letter about a meal that I wrote that I had with someone, it might be dear and then the person who I had a meal with. You can find your version of this in your reader's notebook on page 36. This one has the lines for you to fill in, where you can write a friendly letter about a special meal that you had. Remember to write statements and a question. It even tells you right here. One statement here, another statement on this line, and here you have your question sentence. They even have the punctuation here for you to help you remember. So we have our date up here, our greeting, who was the letter 2. I ate, what did you have? With who did you eat it with? And then you're going to choose 3 statements and a question to ask the person you're writing, the letter 2. Then you have your closing, and your name will go here on the bottom.